Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brower from Racecraft, back again with another race examination video where we're going to take a look at what happened at Anaheim 3, break down a couple of the key moments of the 450 and 250 main event. Starting off with the 450 main event, just kind of quickly highlighting Eli Tomac's early whoop speed. I mean, first lap of the race, you can see how much time he gains on Jason Anderson right here. That was going to be a key catalyst throughout the main event, and we'll talk about what happened with Tomac a little later on. But if we go back to this first turn or melee, Ken Roczen actually has a pretty good starter on the outside. He's going to come through like 4th or 6th or so, but he just gets a little bit of a bump there from Malcolm Stewart and gets sent into the tough block. Kind of ruined his night. It's not Malcolm's fault though. It was just a kind of first turn push together chaos. But Roczen goes from starting 4th or 6th to basically starting dead last, way out here on the very back of the pack, and only was able to get up to 11th. It's not looking too good for Kenny early in the season here. Back to the battle for the race lead though, and I just love everything about this whole sequence. First off, Tomac getting to the spot to try to make the pass on Anderson in the first place, cutting down underneath out of the berm to get to the inside right here. But Anderson's racecraft here was incredible, at least in my opinion. As they're jumping into this corner, he doesn't even need to look over to see where Tomac is. He knows Tomac's down the inside, and he reads this thing like a book, basically. Tomac shorts this a little bit. Very good job not to go down, but Anderson right at the top of this berm, not even into the berm yet, pretty much, coming into the corner, cuts down really hard out of this corner to square up Tomac. I think he maybe gets that pass done even if Tomac doesn't case that jump, but in the end he was able to get back by, and it kind of proved to be a pivotal moment of the race because he was able to hold Tomac behind him. Tomac then starts making some mistakes like this one in the whoops right here, and Anderson was able to kind of sneak away a little bit from there. If we go back to what happened to Tomac in the whoops, it was kind of happening for everybody, but Tomac got it real wrong right here because this third whoop in, the rear end's going to kick up and hit him on the butt a little bit right there, and then the next whoop after that, it really gets him, and it kind of bucks him off the saddle a little bit, and then from there, he's kind of just trying to corral it back together. Pretty good job not to go down, because as we'll see later on, it kind of caught a lot of the 250 guys out when they would make a mistake like that, but Tomac was able to just kind of keep the bike planted underneath of him, goes to almost a dead stop and loses a lot of ground, and from that point on, Anderson was kind of unheaded at the front. Didn't really have much trouble to kind of keep the gap the same. He had a couple problems in the whoops himself, but it seemed like every time he would make a little mistake, he would then reopen that gap and kind of cruise to his second win of the season. Now pulls to a little bit closer to Tomac in the standings, and it's on moving forward. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today. All right, so moving on to the aforementioned 250 class, talking about this early crash in the heat race for Joe Shimoda. It was a big get off, and it looked like it could have been a lot worse when he was able to finally get up and kind of slowly walk off the track. Was loaded on the Alpine Stars medical mule and did not return to the race. Now, Shimoda actually posted an update on Instagram. We'll get to that in a second, but you can see here as he scrubs into the corner, the rear end kind of, or the front end, I should say, slides out a little bit, but his foot kicks off to the left, and it catches the jump as he takes off, and that just kind of rodeos him off the back of the bike. Nose picks the landing and then kind of augers into the corner. Now, Shimoda did post an update on Instagram and basically said he thought there'd be a little bit more traction on the face of the jump than there was, so it was slicker than it was, and that forced the scrub to be a little bit harder than he expected it to be. He did injure his foot. It was in a soft cast when he posted on Instagram, but it is believed that he'll be back for Seattle in 6 weeks' time, so that's good news there. On to the start of the 250 main event, though, and pretty much the story that I wanted to highlight here is Christian Craig's early whoop speed, and really the whoop speed that we've talked about all season long. It's quite incredible. Freeze gets the whole shot here, goes down the middle. Lawrence goes down the left side of the whoops. Looks like he's going to take the lead, but Craig just around the outside of them both is able to get by and make the pass into the lead, and he would start taking off a little bit from there. And I wanted to just highlight this again because on any other lap of the race, aside from the first lap, this is one of the greatest passes we're going to see all year. So I still have to say it's one of the greatest passes we're going to see for a little while here, because to blitz the whoops on the outside of both of these guys and have the commitment to come into this corner and know that neither one of them is going to put you over the berm. Pretty good commitment there for Craig, and Lawrence does try to run him high. I mean, he gets into the side of him, kind of pushes his rear end out a little bit, but Craig holds on, and I mean, whoop speed, it has been the difference maker in this 250 class this year, as shown there by Christian Craig. Early in the main event, Michael Mosiman goes down, trying to battle for getting into third and fourth place there, and kind of rodeos a tough block off the track. We'll get back to him in a moment, because the melee continued in the whoops. Jalek Swoll goes down, takes Nate Thrasher with him, and then Derek Kelly's going to go down as well. Swoll was actually jumping through the whoops, so he just mistimed behind them, but Lawrence a few laps later gets it all wrong while blitzing and has a huge one here at the end of the whoops to go down. The whoops are claiming a lot of guys all night long when we'll get into this Lawrence crash right here to talk about it. Starts off with him just getting a little bit kind of sideways, kicks to the left a little bit, and then you're going to see his front tire just barely graze the top of this whoop, just enough to maybe almost make it to the end of the whoops. Otherwise, he might have gone down earlier, but then he starts kind of hopping through them a little bit. He tries to actually tire tap this whoop to get back on rhythm, but he doesn't get enough traction off of it, it seems, or as well doesn't tap the next whoop with his front tires. So then he's pretty much off to the races from there. The front tire dives into the whoops, and then he's going over the bars from there. Gets, I think, a little bit lucky here. Even though he augers into the whoops, I think his bike just barely missed him and maybe catches his knee, but it definitely could have got him a lot harder than that. And obviously he goes down and doesn't finish the race. I mean, the whoops were biting people all night long, and Lawrence himself said he was going for it. The update on him, by the way, is that he is all okay. Everything checked out fine, so he'll be fine when we go racing in 6 weeks' time. Mosiman, again, goes down in the whoops, loses his transponder, but he's still podium. So how about this? Michael Mosiman going down twice, still podium. But like I said, I mean, the whoops are eating up people all night long. And look at these things. I mean, they're pointy, they have big cups in them, and they were slick. All three things that really make whoops difficult. But Christian Craig was fantastic in them all night long and claims yet another victory. His third win in Anaheim, so he sweeps the Anaheims, his fourth win of the season, and now boasts a 28-point lead going into this huge break in the championship, as now he goes 450 testing for outdoors.